first, CBF can be tuned on almost any layout. I have a DW tuned CBF. I have a VPP tuned CBF. I have a horse length tuned CBF. Say hi to my mom. I take her. She's got dementia.
Hi, Mom.
She's like, no, I'm going over there. So CBF is like basically a system where you tune where the arc of the wheel path is centered around the top of the chainring. And the reason why it's so cool is that you can focus your chain line at the, which is like the pedal balance point. You can follow it throughout travel, like tighter and closer than any other system, to where basically your wheel and your suspension are rotating around the same spot, yet your chain is pointing at that perfect balance spot to where your pedaling forces don't pull up or they don't pull down on the suspension. They kind of give it that neutral, like just power transfer to spin the wheel instead of tugging on your suspension one way or the other. And all the other systems only give you that in a small window, right at sag if you're a really good designer. But anything past like a little too deep in your sag, a little too shallow in the sag, you'll miss it. And this one, you can hit it no matter where you are, how bad you set up your bike, uphill, downhill, it doesn't matter. And you don't rely on excessive anti-squat to get that like efficiency.
Okay. And with the benefit of not having excessive anti-squat, you're geeking out more climbing performance. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of, excessive anti-squat is just kind of tugging down on the back wheel, giving it that kind of hardtail feel. But that just gives you a lot of that pedal kick chain stretch to where it's really rough on the downhill. And if you're climbing anything with a lot of chunk, it'll just like hit it and not absorb and tractor and climb up with like really smooth efficiency without kicks in the feet. And you see that in the reviews. People are like, yeah, compared to this and that, when I climb a CBF, it just feels like all the power is going to spin the wheel and propel me forward without any energy loss.
Yeah, that was something to kind of touch back on the bike I'm currently reviewing, that Ritual. The first time I was to go bed and brakes, I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I had like what is on the back of like the wheelie bar on a drag car where like all the power was going forward, and then I took that out on the trail and that was also very noticeable. And it was something that I was quite surprised at for it's 165 mil bike, right?
Yeah, and that's I'll just kind of jump in there. Like back in 2015, 16, when I was thinking, hey, I wanted to start a full suspension bike brand. I'd done some other stuff in the bike industry, but was really excited about making the bikes I really wanted to ride. I didn't want to just do something similar to other bikes out there. There's a lot of really, really great designs, really great brands. And a friend of a friend said, hey, you should check out, the Canfield design. And I kind of thought, oh, in my mind, like Canfield bikes were so cool, like Red Bull Rampage, like awesome metal bikes. And I didn't really think, oh, this is a design that would like make sense for kind of the, like, I like pedaling my bike uphill and going downhill. Like, and I met Chris Canfield at Dirt Demo at Interbike back in, I think it was 2015. And Chris is like, oh yeah, you can try one of these bikes out. That was when he was still working with Lance on the Canfield brand. Before leaving to start suspension formulas and focus on the CBF suspension design part. But I got on that bike and I rode like across the parking lot and I was like, holy wow, this pedal's so good. And to me, that was a big part that was missing from a lot of awesome suspension designs, because I do like going uphill. Like it or not, most of us who ride bikes, like more time is spent going uphill before we get to the downhill to rip down, and just how that CBF felt going uphill. But obviously the performance downhill wise, like with what those bikes have done with Rampage and things like that, and then you can feel it, and we see it when we put people on demo bikes. Like we say, hey, find a rock garden and climb up it and pedal. And like Chris was saying, at all points in the travel, that with that chain right over the center of curvature, when the suspension's moving, that's when CBF really stands out, going both uphill and downhill with your braking characteristics. Like where it really stands out is on that bumpy terrain while it's active.